Welcome into Mavericks Today by Chat Sports. I'm Jeffrey Cooperstein. On today's show, the Mavericks finally get some good news on Klay Thompson. There was some speculation as to whether or not Klay Thompson would want to remain with the Mavericks after everything that has happened with the Kyrie Irving injury, with the Luka Doncic trade, all of that stuff going on. There was some speculation about Klay's future, but it seems like there's nothing to worry about. We'll get into the bulk of today's show here in just a second, but I do want to ask you guys, do you think Klay Thompson will be a Maverick beyond this season? Type Y for yes or type N for no. Let me know down in the comment section to kick off today's show. And let's jump right into what Klay Thompson said after last night's win against the San Antonio Spurs. On the Kyrie Irving injury, he said it hurt, obviously. Kyrie's been out for, 10 to 12 months, or he's going to be out for 10 to 12 months. We know that he's going to come back stronger. I'm not worried about him because I've seen his work firsthand, and it's some of the best I've ever seen. So it sucks to be without him this year, but we still have big goals. We still want to make a run. The injuries have been awful, but I still love our team. We have an amazing front court, and we miss those guys dearly. Obviously, as you can tell with the lack of size out there, they're probably the strong point of our team, but we're showing as much heart as we can. It's a pleasure to go to battle with each and every person who suits up. That's all you can control. And this was the biggest part of it. I still believe in this franchise. I'm here for 2 more seasons after this, so I'd love to help them return to the glory that they were brought to in 2011. I love hearing this from Klay Thompson. This is an absolutely awesome quote, and this kind of sends shivers down my spine, to be honest with you. The Mavs have been through a lot over the last month and a half or so, and to hear someone with Klay Thompson's perspective is truly refreshing. And it even, kind of refreshes my perspective on the Mavericks, where I won't lie, you guys have seen it. I'm all doom and gloom over the last 6 weeks or so. But Klay providing this sort of perspective, even saying, even in the negative times, I still want to be here. I still want to see this franchise return back to its glory days. I love hearing that from Klay. And in my opinion, this just shows true leadership and shows the kind of person that Klay Thompson really is, because he could have easily packed it up and said, I don't want to be a part of this organization anymore. Please trade me in the offseason. But he didn't say that. He showed that he wanted to be here. He wants to usher these guys into the new era of Mavericks basketball, whatever that era looks like, whether it's a rebuild, whether it's reloading and competing for the playoffs. Klay Thompson wants to be here. And I do think that's cool, and I have mad respect for him, to be honest. If Klay asked for a trade this offseason, I wouldn't blame him one single bit, but it sounds like he's sticking by the Mavericks for now, and I think that is super, super cool. If Klay is sticking by him, I'm going to stick by Klay for as long as he lives, man, showing that veteran leadership, desperately giving the Mavericks what they need in terms of a veteran leader on the court, especially without the presence of Kyrie and Anthony Davis there, who, by the way, happy birthday, Anthony Davis. And we'll talk about AD here in just a moment, but I really want to show Klay Thompson some love, man. Him doing what he's doing for this Mavericks franchise right now is absolutely fantastic. So go ahead and show some love to Klay Thompson down below in the comment section. This will be the pinned comment on today's show. I want to get as many 31s as we possibly can to show our guy Klay some love. He's sticking by us in dark times, so it's only right if we stick by him. We'll get to the injury updates here in just a few moments, but I do need to tell you guys about our sponsor, which of course is PrizePicks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. PrizePicks has over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings, making daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks. March is basketball season, and there's no place to get real money action with our friends at PrizePicks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. PrizePicks also invented the flex play, which means even if one of your picks doesn't hit, you can still win some real money. And they also put their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. And when my picks hit, I can get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. Here are my picks for tonight's basketball games. I took the more on Trey Murphy, 20.5 points. And I also took the more on Cam Thomas, 2.5 rebounds. So you can copy my picks, or you can make picks of your own. Just please make sure you do it with our friends over at PrizePicks. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS to get a $50 bonus when you play your first $5 lineup. Again, you don't even need to win to receive that bonus. It is guaranteed. Download the app, use code CLNS to get a $50 bonus when you play your first $5 lineup. It is Prize Picks. Run your game. That link will be clickable in the comments and the description of today's show. Shout out to Prize Picks for sponsoring this episode of Mavericks Today by Chat Sports. According to according to NBA Insider Marc Stein, Anthony Davis and Dereck Lively are progressing towards an in-season return to action. And my reaction to that is cool, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I would be surprised if these guys actually returned to action for the Mavericks. It sounds like Anthony Davis did some 2-on-2 work during Mavericks practice. So we'll see if Anthony Davis actually comes back into the fold here. I think the Mavericks, who sit currently right at 500 at 33-33, are considering tanking the rest of the season, sitting the likes of Daniel Gafford, Dereck Lively, and Anthony Davis for the remainder of the year. And I don't think that would be the worst option in the world whatsoever. And if it were me, that's what I would end up deciding if I were the Mavs. I would sit these guys. I would try to lose the rest of the games. And I know saying that sucks. Like, you never want to intentionally lose basketball games, but where the Mavericks sit, I just don't know if there's any point in trying to play for the play-in. Maybe you can win a playoff series at the max, but I highly doubt it. I would sit these guys the rest of the season, try to get the best draft pick you possibly can. But it does seem like right now, with 16 games remaining, the Mavericks are in a decently good position here, as they're 2.5 games ahead of the Phoenix Suns with 16 games left. They have a couple of crucial games here that they can win to kind of solidify their standing in the Western Conference playoff standings, where they currently sit 10th. So it all depends on what happens with the Phoenix Suns and the Mavs. But as of right now, the Mavs are in a good spot if they wanted to play for the play-in. Davis could return within the next week or so, again, if they really wanted him to. If it were me, I would say sit him out and tank and try to get the best draft pick you can. But I'm not making the decisions for the Dallas Mavericks, and we'll have to see what they decide to do. And of course, whenever they do decide that, we will give you the latest updates on whatever the Mavs decide to do with those three big men. Let me know down in the comments, though, will the Mavericks make the play-in tournament? Type P for play-in, type L for lottery. I think they're going to make the play-in, but I'm not sure that's what I want them to do. Let me know down in the comments, and let me know what you want them to do as well. That is going to be it for today's show. Appreciate you guys for tuning in to Mavericks Today by Chat Sports, and we'll see you soon here on the channel.